Alright everyone, finally the Midoriya Foundation building is officially repaired. Izuku announced, standing on the stairs of the now repaired building, looking down at all the children, and Sori, who were standing in front of him eagerly waiting to be let in. Yeah! The children cheered. Finally, I can go back to the safety of my room. Fuku almost cried tears of joy, with Kei patting her on the back. I think you've been doing great Fuku, you were super helpful back at camp, Kei reassured her cheerfully. Yes, your cooking ability was absolutely essential to our survival. Kiba praised her. I just can't wait to get back to work on the game, Ken said. Indeed, Yonda said. Although with Yami still not here, it'll likely take a bit longer. Sorry about that, but Yami still needs to be with Amai so that way he can get more negativity in the city, Izuku told them. But don't worry, I'm sure he and Amai will visit every now and again. Can we go inside now? I want to play video games with everyone again. Netsu asked. Yes, but before anything, there is something I need to show you all, Izuku told them. Izuku brought all the children inside, into the entry hall, and walked right towards the wall past the stairs. He then pressed down on a secret hidden button on the wall, and the wall opened up, revealing a hidden room. Whoa! Most of the kids, and Sori gasped as Izuku brought them into the secret room. It was rather basic. Just a metal room, with some futons, and crates full of supplies. This is the new safe room, Izuku explained, before pointing at the crates. In those crates are lots of food and water, just in case you ever need to stay in here for a long time. The room's not as durable as the training room, but it's hidden, meaning that no one can warp in here. Speaking of which, everyone, it's very important that none of you mention this room to anyone, especially you Kiba. If villains like that mist guy find out about this place, then it'll no longer be as safe. Understood? Yes. The children answered, understanding the importance of keeping this secret. Alright, now, all of you are free to go, Izuku told them. Yaha! The children cried as they ran out of the room, all looking to get things back to normal. Can I go too, boss? Sori asked him hopefully. I wanna go eat some tuna. Not yet, there's a room I have to show you, Izuku told her. Izuku brought Sori into a room on the second floor, one that was covered in screens, displaying the forest and the house. There were also several seers on one side of the room, as well as several terminals with buttons on them underneath the screens. This is the security room, here you can see all the cameras set up throughout the property, Izuku explained, before mourning over the terminals. And here are the controls for the defenses. Defenses? I thought the monsters were the defenses? Sori asked. Yes, but I also added something new, Izuku explained, before pressing a button on the terminal. Suddenly, in the forest, a hidden turret popped out of the ground. Whoa, you're really not messing around, boss. Sori whistled, as Izuku pressed another button causing the turret to go back into the ground. I never mess around when it comes to my children's safety, Izuku told her seriously. I don't really need to explain anything more about this room to you. I doubt you'd remember what most of these buttons do, to be honest. Yeah, you're probably right. Sori agreed. And that sounds super boring anyway. I'll leave most of this to Sai, Izuku told her. Alright, you are free to go. Thanks, boss. Sori said as she sped out of the room. Ring ring. Once she left, Izuku breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, 2-hour nap. Then back to work. Finally, Fuku's back. Where she belongs. Fuku said as she entered her room, a look of pure relief on her face. The lavender-haired girl jumped on her bed, flopping face first onto her sheets, and digging her head into her pillow. Oh bed, how Fuku missed you. She then jumped up, ran over to her window, and picked up her Venus flytrap. Aren't you glad to be home, Petey? Of course, the plant didn't talk back, and Fuku eventually set it down, before sitting back down on her bed. It was nice having solid walls around her again. The flimsy wall of the tents provided little comfort to Fuku, especially after such a harrowing attack. It didn't help that she could hear everything that went on outside, and every little noise that happened around her tent convinced Fuku that there was gonna be another villain attack. Thankfully Fuku's tent was isolated, meaning no one got exposed to all the gas she'd been pumping out. After taking some more time to soak in the feeling of returning to her room, Fuku wondered what to do next. Should I get back to work so soon? I mean, I know Yonda said that we need to focus on the game, but... Fuku sighed and pouted a bit. I really want to just relax and watch some anime. I'm sure they won't mind if I just watch a few episodes before I get back to work. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX. Welcome back, my minions. Kiba said into the camera, as she started up her stream in her room. Your queen has returned. At long last. For 1,000 years she'd lain dormant, and now the queen of eternal darkness has arisen. Lady Kiba has risen. Celebrate and bask in her presence. I know the wait has been long and agonizing, but at long last, my fortress has been repaired. Kiba beamed at the camera confidently, happy to be able to produce content for her loyal fans once again. And to celebrate my return, it's time to continue my Elden Ring Let's Play. Alright. Rage time. Thank you, Lady K. XXXXXXXXXXXXX. Shina opened the door to her room and just stared at the room inside. It wasn't anything grand. It was just a basic room. But it was hers. Her room. At the Midoriya Foundation. Yes, she'd been adopted by Izuku for a month now, but staying in the camps, she just hadn't quite felt like she was a part of the family now. She took a few steps into the room, and then fell to her knees, as tears started falling from her eyes. It worked. It really worked. I'm free. For her entire life, she longed for this. To be free of the horrible system she'd been unfortunately born into. When she'd heard of the raid on the Midoriya Foundation, she knew that was her chance, but now, here she was. It worked. She'd never have to kill again. Yes, it must be such a relief. Shina turned around and saw Yonda standing in her doorway with a smile on her face. I was quite happy when I got my room too. Yonda told her, inviting herself in. It really gives the feeling of being away from all that stuff from the past. Like you're getting a new start. Like you're part of the family. Wow, she is scary. Shina thought automatically. She hadn't talked with many of the children. Given her less than stellar first impression, many of the other children were wary of her, and as such Shina decided it was best to hide away in her tent. The only person she'd really talked to was Kay. Yonda had also never seemed afraid of her, but the same could not be said in reverse. The psychic girl reminded her of all her least favorite people. Clever people, filled with lies and ambitions. And she just seemed so much smarter than she should be, and her ability to read her thoughts gave her goosebumps. Shina's eyes widened as she realized Yonda heard what she just thought. Wait, I didn't mean that. Ahahahaha. Shina cringed, as she heard Yonda laughing inside of her head. Oh dear, don't worry, I don't mind. There are just some people, or rather a lot people, who just don't feel comfortable around me. For good reason. But you don't have to worry. I'm not gonna do anything to you. I have reason to. After all, while the others are unsure of you given where you came from, I know better. I know you. Our tents were rather close by, you see, and well, I can hear thoughts through walls. Shina's eyes widened with shock and fear, and she fell back on her butt and started scooting away from Yonda. Wait, were you listening to my thoughts for a month? Indeed I have. And because of that, I can now say I trust you, about 90%. You're not some hardened assassin. Yonda smiled at her. Just a scared little girl, happy to be free, with no idea what to do now. Shina gulped. She wasn't used to this. Back with the MLF, the only thing she really had was her private thoughts. But Yonda could hear everything and read her like the back of her hand. It was terrifying. Oh, don't be so scared, I'm on your side. Yonda told her, putting her hands behind her back. Because you and I have a common goal. I doubt that. Shina tried to think of something to respond with, but she was too scared. Yonda sighed and shook her head. No, this won't do, you're much too terrified. She then pulled out a piece of candy from her pocket and threw it onto Shina's lap. Eat it. Now. Not wanting to figure out what would happen if she refused, Shina quickly proceeded to unwrap and eat the candy. Quickly she felt her nerves start to calm, and she released the breath she'd been holding up to now. Feeling better? It's calming candy. It's made by an acquaintance of ours, who can make candy that can affect emotions. Yonda explained. And now that you're calmer, let me explain a bit. When I said we had similar goals. You see, I like there to be a positive vibe in this house. Positive thoughts are so much nicer to listen to than negative thoughts, and so having the others continue to not trust you would go against my interest. Does that make sense? I guess. Shina still didn't trust her, but she did make sense. Go. And of course, you want to be liked by the other, right? Yonda asked her. Yes, where is this going? Shina asked fearfully. Where it's going, Shina my dear, is that we should, and should I mean will, work together, to improve your image with the others. Yonda explained to her. Isn't that wonderful? Not really, you're really scary. I mean yes. Shina quickly corrected. Good. Now, the best way to do that is to use your skills to help improve the household. Yonda told her. Unfortunately, the only things you are adept at are murder and reading. Not that that's your fault I suppose. You were given little opportunity for much else. Thanks for reminding me. Shina thought bitterly, before again realizing Yonda could hear her. I mean, now obviously it'll be difficult to use such skills, but I found a way, you're welcome. Yonda continued with a smile. Tonight you'll be joining Kay in reading bedtime stories to Kai. I already went through the liberty of informing her. She'll be coming to get you around bedtime. You couldn't have asked me first? Shina asked her with a bit of despair in her tone. Oh, do you not want to improve your reputation? Or do you find reading to someone else that bad? Yonda asked her. Well, no. Shina thought. Perfect, then be ready by tonight, don't want to disappoint anyone. Yonda told her, as she made her way to the door. Have a nice first day in the house. We'll talk more later. For now, enjoy your time. I'd suggest finding some new hobbies. Remember, you are free to choose. And with that, Yonda closed the door, leaving Shina alone in her room. Do I? Shina thought to herself with a sigh. It's not that she had a problem with reading stories to Kai, especially if Kay was going to be there. But didn't like that choice had been made for her. She'd had enough of that for one lifetime. At least I know what I'm doing now. Shina sighed. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX. Meanwhile, Yonda was just exiting Shina's room with a smile on her face. Well, that wasn't very nice, was it? Yonda's eyes widened, and she quickly turned around to see Fu right behind her. Fu, how did you sneak up on me? I was just brain dead for a little while. Fu explained with a shrug. Made my head so empty you couldn't even read my thoughts. But I could still hear everything happening around me, including your little conversation. Yonda groaned. You are insanely inconvenient for me, you know that? You're smart, difficult to manipulate, you enjoy being embarrassed so I can't even blackmail you, and now you can sneak up on me. Well, someone needs to keep you in check. Fu said. Speaking of which, give the poor girl a break. If she's being truthful like you said, then she's been through enough, don't you think? Oh please. Yonda rolled her eyes. Life doesn't stop for anyone or anything, and the sooner she gets people to trust her the better. Better for her, or better for you? Fu asked with his arms crossed. Yes. Yonda answered. The sooner is over, the sooner we can both enjoy our time here without that eating away at us. Well, you have a point. But still, don't just boss her around, or else I'm telling Izuku. Fu threatened. Oh, come on. Yonda whined. That girl is so timid and scared of me it'll take forever to get anything done with her. Well, here's a thought, maybe make her less afraid of you. Fu rolled his eyes. Either way, tone down your help or else. Understood. Ugh. Fine. Yonda agreed, knowing she didn't really have a choice. Good. Remember, I have my eyes on you. Fu told her, before turning and walking away. Yonda sighed. This is going to take much longer now. Great.